Hey guys, we are back once again with another weekly chapter review of Katekyo Hitman REBORN. But before I get into this week's review, I have to give a shout out to my boy Red Decimo. He hit 1K on YouTube, bro, and he's doing amazing things for the Reborn fandom. Every week, every day, he's talking about Reborn. He's getting more people into the series to enjoy. He talks positively about the series. Like, if there's anybody I could recommend you guys personally to understand about Reborn, it's Red. Okay? Also, I'm going to put his link for his YouTube so you could check out his channel and support him there as well, because my man is doing great things for the Reborn fandom. And you know what? I had to give it to him. As a fellow Reborn fan, Red, you're doing amazing. You are doing amazing, okay? So, with this chapter 101, of course, we hit the benchmark of chapter 100 last week, and with this week, it now continues with the fight officially starting between, and it's the third match between Bell and Gokudera. Of course, if you remember from last week's chapter, it was almost the deadline time limit for Gokudera to approach the school for the match. And remember, even by chapter 99, technically, Tsunasai was supposed to lose off the bat because Zanzis got the Sky Ring. Okay, so automatically it should default it where Davaria won and then Tsunasai lost. But Zanzis decided to humor everybody and say, okay, I'm going to give you guys another chance. Whoever has the most rings at the end of this scramble, that side wins. But of course, knowing he is the bad guy, and like all bad guys in majority of stories, they are lying. They have something hidden up their sleeve. So always keep in mind that even though he said this, you can probably get the gist of, even if Tsunasai was to get majority of the rings, he may try to do something to thwart that and change it for himself. Okay, to flip the sides for himself, right? So now going into chapter 101, it's Gokudera versus Belgafor. So now they're in the school. Gokudera managed to reach in the nick of time, like a few seconds before it actually landed at 11 o'clock. Because if he didn't, it automatically, the ring would have been given to Belgafor, and basically you could say that's an immediate loss for Tsunasai. If he was to get one more ring, that would have been 3 rings. That would have been it, or 4. No, it would have been 3. It would have been an automatic loss regardless. So Gokudera managed to reach on time, dripped out, looking fresh as a daisy, and they talk about how the fight is going to go down. Of course, this fight is different versus the other two, simply because Zanzis has yet to achieve the ring until this point. So what makes this particular battle so different, and probably the most dangerous out of all of them, the entire fights that we had until now was always a death battle. But this one in particular has a time limit, okay? And not only does it have a time limit, Zanzis is so uncaring that he says that if either were to die, if even my man dies, I don't care. I got what I wanted, okay? So the Cervello is explaining that they're on the 3rd floor of the school, so it's inside the school, okay? They're on the 3rd floor. They closed off everywhere else. So their whole entire battle, 3rd floor, that open space, okay? And you're thinking, hold on, this is actually pretty good for both sides, you know? Gokudera got dynamite, and if you really think about it in terms of like his fighting style, Gokudera will work best, given that he works for bombs and dynamites, he will work best in enclosed spaces so that he can attack the opponent a lot more easier versus open space, because now he has to find a way to enclose them and then attack them from there, versus him being just locked, him and Bell being locked in on the 3rd floor. It'll be easier to hit his target. Same thing with Belgafor. He has his knife, so obviously it'll still be easier to hit Gokudera. So there is that favor, but there is a twist. They brought in, just like every battle that we have up until this point, it's to represent the element of the ring. So in this case, in this scenario, we have the storm. So storms are heavy winds or some lightning. It is very destructive, right? So they brought in this wind turbine, or better yet, I would like to say it's like a wind generator. And they never went into like how much wind is being produced per kilometer or per hour, but I'm gonna go with it was producing like 60 or 70 miles per hour of wind. So enough that it can push a full-grown adult outside the window who can't grip onto anything and can kill him. Okay, it's that strong enough of wind. So they have that located several places on this 3rd floor. And the scary thing about it is, okay, you're thinking wind. Okay, they probably will see it. And not so much. It can go on and off randomly. So imagine, you only have 15 minutes. This match can only last 15 minutes. And if we all grew up, or you're now watching anything shonen, anything action, you know 15 minutes in a series can go on for a very long time, even though in real world time, it's practically a lunch break, a small lunch break. Yeah. But it's 15 minutes on top of, you have to worry about 60 to 70 miles per hour of wind coming at you randomly, because it's built like a rectangle almost, and there's 4 openings. So those 4 openings are where the wind is coming out. So one side can push out wind whenever the other 3 sides can do that as well. So imagining you're so focused on fighting your opponent who's aiming to kill you, right? And on top of that, now you got to worry about random gusts of wind blowing that can shatter windows and destroy the property, okay, and push you outside as well, killing you. Okay, you got to go worrying about that. So it's a lose-lose situation for both Bell and Gokudera. And like I stated before, if both of them, or I probably didn't, but the Cervello was saying that if Gokudera and Belgafor was not able to finish off each other, either or, within the span of 15 minutes, they have placed bombs in several spots on the 3rd floor that will all go off by the end of the 15-minute benchmark, effectively killing both of them. Probably one of them may survive, probably the other wouldn't, but it will end up killing both of them, because like I said, at the end of the day, Zanzi's got what he wanted. So technically none of these matches really mean anything to him. And again, it's 15 minutes plus some damage, some rough winds, and now there are bombs. I would in my own pants at that point. I just give up. I mean, I'm gonna die regardless, so I might as well just give up. But that's not Gokudera. So before the fight actually starts, we have where like Ryohei tries to say, you know, let's do our little gather around and pump each other up, and Gokudera obviously would get embarrassed, but Suna, you know, realizing the situation, and it was very a sweet moment. He's like, you know, let's you know, get around, you know, cheer you on. We gotta encourage you and everything, because Suna knows, everybody knows, he's facing against the genius of the Varia. So you mean to tell me bombs, wind, 15 minutes, and then I'm facing the genius of the Varia? Can Gokudera win? Please, can he take a W at this point? Okay, so they do their little chair. Reborn brought Lambo's tail to say he's there in spirit. He's there in spirit. Okay. And then officially the match, before the match even started, which I want you guys to really look at this particular panel, because it was so suspicious. Of course, I've read this multiple times and I saw the anime, so I know what's going on. But for those who are new, just take note of when Belgafor Bell came up to Gokudera and he tapped him on the shoulder. And he's like, you know, don't worry about it. It's nothing to worry about. You look tense. And you're like, my enemy who wants to kill me comes up to me and trying to encourage me about this death match, which will end in 15 minutes if I don't end you first. That was very suspicious. So the match starts, okay? And Gokudera, who mastered his triple bonding, because we have seen him use it several times, which due to him not being able to master it, always end up hurting himself in the process. But now he has finally mastered it. And you're thinking, okay, Bell got hurt. No, he's unfazed. And when he realized that he saw several knives floating in midair came to strike him, he managed to dodge that. And then he throws more bombs at Bell, but Bell steps back. And you're like, well, how are you stepping back on the... I mean, I get it, he threw it, and then you probably have a fast reaction time to be able to, you know, step back. But still, stepping back barely enough where you could still be affected by the blast, okay? But he was smart, because when he stepped back and the dynamites were still coming towards him, the random gust of wind came and blew them and blew the wall and windows out, okay? And Gokudera was just like, how did he was able to use that? Then Gokudera realized at the last second that wind of gust is coming, and so he ducks. And this is where Bell goes on the offensive now again. He managed to strike Gokudera. Gokudera ends up in the classroom. Oh, and might I add, just so they won't interfere, the surveiller put in extra surveillance. So they put cameras all over the 3rd floor, and they put like sensor lasers so that Suna and the others can't go directly to the fight, because if they touch the lasers, most likely the lasers are going to saw part of their body or burn them alive. So they're stuck in the little, where the benches are, further down into the hallway and everything. They can't get out from there. They can't escape. So they can't interfere with this short but very deadly battle. So going back to it, Gokudera ends up in the classroom and he's like, bro, how is this guy able to do this? This must be a fluke. There's no way he can predict when the winds are coming. There's no way he should be able to evade my dynamites, especially in close quarter vicinity, right? We have where Bell comes in, right? And he's like, no, this is not a fluke. I'm just a genius. Not only that, there was a small panel just before Gokudera got blasted into, well, not blasted, but he kind of had to try to jump out of the way of the knife before Bell came in there. You saw Bell lift up his hand and then he kind of moved it. And that's when the knife attacked Gokudera and he had to jump into the classroom, okay? Just take note of these things, okay? So while they're in the classroom and then, you know, Bell is telling Gokudera, you know, this is not a fluke, I'm a genius, I'm a prince. He launches another knife, which is able to cut Gokudera on the cheek, okay? And and also might I add, Shamal came to go watch the entire fight as well. He is the teacher of Gokudera, so he wants to see how well his student is handling himself during this whole ordeal. Even he has to know that Bell is the genius of the Varya assassination group. Like, this guy is capable of doing things that more than likely not even Squalo or Levi or Lusaria or even Zanzis are capable of doing. Okay, he's capable of utilizing what would have been for him cons for this whole ordeal, this entire fight, but he changed the landscape before even the fight began. Or practically the fight did begin, but like, you know, hit for hit, he already immediately changed it, and now he has Gokudera literally flat on his back. Okay, Gokudera has not been able to counteract at all. He's in Bell's trap. Bell caught Gokudera. And now you're going to be wondering, how the hell is Gokudera going to be able to get out of this? okay? Because time is ticking. Time is ticking on both of them. We got wind that's messing up our hair. Wind that's messing up my dashing good looks, my outfit. I got glass coming in my face. Like, how is Gokudera going to turn this in his favor? So guys, and on top of that, you gotta worry about, on top of that, they still have to worry about, if they don't finish this before 15 minutes, the bombs will blow up the entire 3rd floor. That's something else to worry about. Okay, so guys, do tell me in the comments below how you felt about this chapter 101 of Katekyo Hitman Reborn. What were some things you noticed about this whole ordeal fight that you had to double back on seeing Bellafor and his actions towards Gokudera, and what do you think is going to happen? Is Gokudera able to turn the tides in his favor, or is this the end for our favorite chain-smoking 15-year-old who has a temper tantrum and is extremely loyal to Suna? Okay, he's the right-hand man of Suna. Do tell me your comments down below. The links are in the description box. You guys go check it out. And again, like I said, go give a big shout out to Red Decimo for reaching 1K here on YouTube. Give him all that love. I'm Kimi-chan of Anime Legends, and I will see you guys later. Bye!